Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today is an awesome day. It is patch day for the simulator and some pretty awesome patches have come down the pipeline today. One of the things that I'm super excited about is a very nice and welcome and large update to Turboprops. Sit back and we're going to check out what some of those updates look like. All right, so stepping right into it, let's starting up at the top. There's a couple things that caught my attention that I'm going to point. I'm not going to walk through everything that's on the changelog, but it's a pretty good changelog. But one of the ones that really caught my attention is this one right here. We performed some optimization of the initial full download, so the title-based game is now only 83 gigs instead of 170. That is a massive change. That is over 100% of its initial size. So I figured we could... I might be doing some testing this weekend and see what happens if I were to uninstall and reinstall the simulator and see if we get better performance on it, because I'm one of those ones who does suffer from pretty long load times. Now, I know they say things like this, but never seems to make a difference. So anyway, that one caught my attention. For anyone who's struggling to install the game and is tired of the incredibly large size of it, well, that's been significantly reduced. Now, that is the base installation of the game, so it doesn't count any of your add-on aircraft or anything like that. One of the other ones that sort of caught my attention, and I haven't decided how far I'm going to go into testing with this, but the phraseology from ATC, that's a big one for me. Let's see here. Live traffic stability has been improved. We're going to be turning that on and see what happens. Been some weather changes. Quite a few flight models have been changed and adjusted. Same thing with some tweaks to the autopilot. But the turboprop section, as you can see, is massive. Everything from the Cessna 208, the King Air 350i. Just getting on a second. Look at all this. This is all the TBM. Everything from torque to inlet temperature, turbo fine tuning, flight model update handling on the I hate the day here on the TBM 930, ground level max torque. They've really done quite a bit here. So we're going to take the TBM up, quick spin around the Caribbean, and then we're going to bring it back in. We're not going to do anything too crazy today. I want to see what the takeoff performance is like, what the speed is like in level flight, how quickly we get inlet temperature warnings. We get them pretty quick right now, almost immediately after takeoff. What the effect of the inertial separator is. There you go. See, from 25% torque to 12% torque. That should make a big difference on our climb out. That should make our climb outs much more powerful. Typically we have the inertial separator on until we clear either the canopy or, any low altitude, birds, things like that we might suck up into the intake. So it'd be interesting to see what the change is there. So without further delay, guys, we're going to jump into the TBM. We're going to get her started up. It is the default aircraft right now. All of my mods, everything in the simulator that I had that was modded has been removed. There's no, there isn't even any third-party scenery on it right now. So this is completely 100% Asobo Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. All right, so let's see about getting this beautiful plane started up. Look at that. You can even tell I have the G3000 removed. Look at that. It's so bad. I feel like I'm like sinning. And the reason why I took all the mods out is because, like, for example, the Mix Mugs mod, I believe, does have a few performance changes on it. So we're going to have to take a look at whether or not those are things that we're going to want to use moving forward. Okay, I think we are good down there, or up there, I should say. Ah! Didn't mean to. All right, turn our bleed on, our separator. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the pitot heats on now because we're literally 2 feet away from the runway. And I'm not gonna do anything fancy today. We're gonna get up and get her moving. Not looking to take a whole lot of time here. So, let's go ahead and check something out. Like I said, we would do a little bit. Oh, hang on a second. I think I have live traffic turned off. So let's check that. AI traffic offline. So let's check out. Whoa. AI offline. Do I have to go data first? I might have to go data first. Oh, yep. Live world air traffic on. There we go. I used to turn it off all the time because all it did was cause stuttering. So, I guess I just leave that off. Aircraft traffic type. Alright, well, that's all we're getting from there for now. And then there was something else. Oh, ATC. Let's check out a quick pushback. We'll go ahead and give it a tune. I haven't used the in-game ATC in so long. No ground services, huh? Good. Oh, that's right. I turned everything off. My bad. I have all the audio off. So let's see here. Take a Foxtrot Juliet. Traffic there. Yeah, is taxing to runway 10. It's alright. Tell not much has changed there. Some of the phraseology, but it's cool. Alright, so what we're going to do is just get her out of here. I need to take a peek here. I don't think I actually have a spot to turn her around. And that pushback isn't working, so I'm going to go ahead and launch pushback helper. That's why I keep it on hand. I don't use pushback helper very often anymore. Getting a lot of other tools available now. Not that it's not fantastic, it totally is. It's great. By the way, you would never, ever, no, you wouldn't do this. Sort of didn't think about it beforehand. Oh, propeller's messed up. The engine cowls exploded. The nose cone went into her face. Death, destruction, all kinds of bad things happened here. But, what the heck, right? I'd really appreciate it if you would push it a whole lot further than that. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought we were gonna freeze. Let's see if it makes it. And let's just stop it here. If you guys have not checked out... Hey, does this actually work, I wonder? Nope. None of the doors work on this thing. That's too bad. Okay, bye-bye, Ted. Go on. If you guys have not checked out my most recent mods and add-ons video from yesterday, I highly recommend. There's a really awesome pushback tool that is now up on the toolbar. Like I said, all of my mods are uninstalled. This is actually a third-party application that's running that we'll be doing a review on later today. But it's actually not a mod per se. So anyway, so it just mirrors the synthetic terrain look different. Anyway, let's change our, that's the CDI, let's go to nav, flight directors on, initial altitude, let's set it to 2,000. We're not going to go very high there, we're just sort of messing around. Well, actually I want to see how she climbs, so let's go to like 6,000, we should get a good idea by then. Alright, and select flight level change, let's look for 124 knots. Pretty fast climb out. Huh, this is what the original cockpit looks like. I've been using a livery for so long I forgot. Alright, let's go. Parking brake is off, adding some power. Let's see how she responds. She almost seems a bit heavier on the throttle than she was before. Although there was well, it seems to be moving. So a long time ago, one of the things that all these mods for the TBM fixed was the throttle gap, but seems to be pretty on point. As I move my throttle, it moves with it. Although I feel like they did something with the taxing. Her nose wheel steering isn't what I feel like it was supposed to be. Alright, engines are back at idle, which actually I don't think you're supposed to do with a turboprop, but we're cruising along at 18 knots, 17 knots ground speed. Alright. Take off flaps. Yeah, I feel like they did something to my nose wheel. I never had trouble turning my TBM. What'd you guys do to my nose wheel? Yeah, getting on the center line is going to be interesting. I feel like I'm turning an A320. We win some, we lose some, guys. Okay, so we're going to see how this all goes. So we're going to go to takeoff power. Inertial separator's on, flaps are set. See what we get. Brakes are holding though. Coming off the brakes. Gears up. flaps coming up. That cleanup felt a little bit weird on the flaps, but weird could just mean new. All right, let's see how she climbs. And we're still basically at max power. Well, no, we are at max power. I've got the throttles full forward. Inlet temperature is rising, so I'm going to come back a little bit. .124 knots climb out, 14 degrees, nose up. Climbing about 2,000 feet per minute, give or take. Now let's see what the initial separator difference is. Removing the separator. Didn't really notice much of a change. Torque slowly increasing. Oh, there we go. Now, normally we would have the inertial separator on here. Close enough to the canopy. We're still below 10,000 feet. You know, a lot of chance to take in debris at this altitude still. But curious what her cruise power looks like. Just testing things. God, this was the default G3000. You don't even get a range ring on it. True airspeed 240 knots. So cruising at 250 knots at 6,000, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Again, we're not particularly high, so definitely nowhere close to its operating altitude. Alright, so the overall assessment thus far is I'm rather impressed. The aircraft seem to feel much more realistic. The power delivery seems to be a much smoother feel to it. You actually have more control with the throttle than I feel like we had before. Engine performance seems to be a bit more accurate, where inlet temperature isn't climbing quite as fast as it was. You have a little bit more climb out at max power. The takeoff roll was long, but not too long. It was reasonable with what I was doing. I was able to actually accelerate to max power before releasing the brakes, and I mean, you saw it, we caught it right to the end of the wire, which would be expected on takeoff like that. But She's up and cooking. I'm kind of curious what the higher altitudes would do, but I kind of want to see what we're going to do on landing, as both flight model and flap and drag coefficients have been adjusted, is my understanding. So we're going to take a peek at what the landing looks like, and then we'll call it a day for today's video. But make sure you guys definitely check out the other turboprops, the 208, the 350i. They got some love as well. We'll be definitely checking them out in the channel here. And then looks like a couple of performance changes, and I am definitely really thinking about what it's going to be like to uninstall Microsoft Flight Simulator and see if we get better performance using the new installation. So I don't know, that one's still up in the air, but we'll see what happens. But I'll catch you guys in just a minute as we come back around for the approach into St. Juliana, or Princess Juliana. I'm going to start our descent, see what it's like. Basically take us all the way back down to sea level here. And let's just do a vertical change. Vertical speed change. Let's descend at do about 1,800 feet per minute. I'm going to come off the power. I'm probably too high. I'm not going to lie. That's the problem when you get up to test certain things. Like if you're just like kind of screwing around, like, okay, I just want to see what the takeoff power is like. I want to see you kind of don't think about the way back. I think we'll be all right. 1,700 feet per minute. I'm descending or reducing speed. Okay, descending. I think we'll be okay. Maybe, probably not. We're like right at the operational limits for the flaps, I think. I think it was 183 knots. We can probably do takeoff one. Whoa. What are we doing there, Vato? Oh, we lost our VOR. Or I lost my flight plan is what I lost. How'd that happen? Oh, I switched into approach. Wow. Alright, well, I'm a dork. So that's a pretty steep climb. Given our, or a descent, given our speed. That's actually not bad. And it's time to pull that back up now. Alright, so you know what? Let's just take it in ourselves. Oops. So I'm feathering the prop on purpose, back and forth. Or the throttle, excuse me, just sort of see what the response rate is of it. What the response rate is of it now. Goodness gracious, I can't talk. There's definitely a big change. Huge change in the engine performance. You can feel it, you can hear it. Watching the temperatures and the prop, the descent, the climb rate, the way it was responding to the climb. I'd say for turboprops, today was a win. Let's go for full flaps. Look for that approach speed. You're a little low, happy lights. Let's see how quickly it gets back up to the approach speed. In the higher RPM range, the throttle responds perfectly fine. But in the lower range, she seems a little sluggish, and I'm wondering if that's part of what that mod did before that we've had in it for so long. So I'm kind of curious as to see how she's going to fly when I get the mod back in. I wanted you guys to see what the changes were, as best I could display anyway, from a stock point of view. I know not everybody uses mods, so. A little high for this approach, but that's all right. You're supposed to come right over the fence line and scare everybody and watch the idiots get burned as the jet blast hits their chest. She definitely has no interest in stalling. Alright, see what the reverse prop is like. My reverse prop is not triggering. Interesting. I wonder if I unmapped it. Give me a second, because I do want to know. Search by input. Looking for the throttle. Boop. Oh, well, that would do it. Alright, I think I actually have a TBM profile. Oh, come on, don't start this crap. Yep, it is. Wow, wow, okay. Now, obviously, you guys would never do that in real life, but holy crap. Wheelies in a TBM. Anyway, so the reverse prop definitely seems to be changed and adjusted, like mercy. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of today's update down below. Like I said, there's quite a few really interesting ones. The installation, be on the lookout for that. I think I may give that a try. That's something that I'll probably take a look at late one night. You know, run the install overnight and then check it out the next day. Also, TBM 930 guide, guys. A new update for it will be releasing tonight. If you're interested in grabbing my guides, make sure you guys check me out on Patreon. Link down in the description below. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.